everybody, it's Tara here again from Skills to Thrive, and I had planned to make a video on the Peace Journal because my last video was on the Happy Journal and it seemed logical that I would then follow on, but something's come up over the last few days and I thought maybe it would be best that I address that straight away. So I wanted to talk to you about the structure of belief. The funny thing is that a lot of people are constantly talking about what they believe to be true. I believe this, or well, I believe this, or well, I don't believe that, I believe this. And we all have these beliefs, and to some degree we think that we choose our beliefs, and in a way we do. But I always find it really interesting because I've since learned about the structure of belief, and when you understand the structure of belief you start to have a lot more choice about your beliefs. So even if you think you've chosen your beliefs based on some logical information or some other experience that's proved to you that this is something to believe in, when you understand the structure of belief, then the choice you have is actually limitless, which is pretty profound. So let's talk about what is a belief. In the beginning, I just thought a belief was something that you had, something that you felt very strongly about. But there are other ways of describing what a belief is. And you, if I were to ask you, might all come up with quite independent answers as to what a belief is to you. But here's some examples. A belief is something that you've thought about over and over again, so much so that it's become true for you. A belief is a practiced thought. What else is a belief? A belief is something you feel strongly about. But ultimately, a belief is something that you have proof, and it's supported by emotions. So something you have proof, meaning something you have proof about, meaning maybe you've had direct experience. And through direct experience and your emotional reaction to the experience has created your belief, either for or against or in a completely different direction. One of the strong examples that we could use would be religion or God or something like that. So someone could be raised in a very religious or spiritual environment, and that religious or spiritual environment could be filled with love and security and all the other good feelings that anyone would potentially want to feel in their life. And so, therefore, that person might grow up to feel very comfortable with the belief that God is real, or that religion is something worth their attention, or spirituality is worth their attention. So they've had experiences, proof, and then they've had emotional reactions of good feelings that have made them go, believing this makes me feel good. And feeling good means when you feel good, you feel like you're on the right track. You feel alive, you feel exhilarated, you feel safe, secure, you feel awesome when you feel good. I mean, that's what feeling good is. And so if you have experiences around that particular subject that make you feel good, it's quite possible that you will continue through life with belief in that arena, positive belief in that arena. But if you've been raised in a religious or spiritual environment that maybe had a very iron fist or extremely strict, where punishment and shame and guilt or a lot of pain were the emotional reactions to that proof, to those experiences, then you might have a belief completely against those kinds of things. You might completely disbelieve in God, or completely negate religion and spirituality. Now, that's a very intense subject, but I just wanted to use that as one of the examples. But we could use all manner of examples when it comes to belief, because we all have beliefs about all sorts of different things, about everything. Actually, our relationship to the world, to each other, to ourselves, is all based and rooted in belief. So another one would be money. Many people have a terrible relationship with money. And the reason they have such a terrible relationship with money is because they have terrible beliefs about money. And that means that they've had experiences, proof. They hold within them proof and an emotional reaction to support it, which makes it feel real. So if I've grown up in an environment where there's not maybe been that much money, or even if there has been plenty of money, but I grew up with statements like, money doesn't grow on trees, what do you think we're made of money, there's not enough money. If I grow up with those kind of statements, irrelevant to whether there was any money or not, and then next to that I have a very strong emotion of disappointment, it's very likely that I will grow up with a belief or an attitude or a pattern of thought that money doesn't grow on trees and that there's not enough money. And every time I find myself in a situation that's financially related, it might be filled with disappointment. and it's crazy, but that seems to be the way that it works. But then there is someone who maybe grows up with the same amount of money in their family, but maybe the statements around money are very different, like, it's okay, there'll always be enough, somehow we'll make it work. You know what, maybe money doesn't grow on trees, but money can be made, it can be created. We can save money, we can earn money. And there are many different ways we can earn money. So these are just some other statements. And so if you grow up in that environment, even if you have the same money as the person who was surrounded by statements like money doesn't grow on trees, you might have a very different belief around money and find that your relationship around money is one of can do, can achieve, can create, rather than disappointment. So the structure of belief, when you understand it, and understand that it's your memories that are the proof. Now, your memories are not just, oh, I remember that day Mum said or Dad said money doesn't grow on trees. It's not just that, or I remember the day that I lost all my money and I felt so disappointed. It's not just those kind of memories. Your memories are all the sensory input that you've experienced ever since the day you were born. Memories are your feelings, memories of touch, feelings, that's the kinesthetic memories, that's the encoded version that goes into the mind, into the brain. The brain doesn't hold the scent of the freshly cut grass. The brain holds an encoded version of the smell and the scent of the freshly cut grass. So your brain, your mind doesn't hold the actual experience of going to the shops in the past. It's an encoded version that's stored in the mind, and it's the sensory input that is that encoded version. So you've got your sensory input of sight, sound, touch, which includes your feelings, and then taste and smell. So your belief and your beliefs today are created based from all your experiences since the day you were born, based on the sensory input that went in and how you reacted to it emotionally. And so My emotional reaction, often when it's a bad emotional reaction, a negative emotional reaction, is extremely intense, much more intense than actually good experiences that we've had or I've had. So, what does this mean ultimately? Ultimately, this means that you actually have more power over your belief than you realise. You can actually change your beliefs to be something that serves you more appropriately. So if I have a belief that I'm never going to be rich, or I'm never going to be wealthy, or I'm never going to be attractive, or nothing magical ever happens. If I have beliefs like that, and there are just 3 examples, there are so many other examples. If I hold those beliefs, and those beliefs don't make me feel very good, I can learn, partly through this tapping process, but also just through general interest and interest in self-inquiry and interest in self-development and self-improvement, I can say, does it serve me to have that belief? Maybe it does, and maybe you choose to keep those beliefs. But if you have a moment where it's like, this is not helping me get where I want to get, these beliefs are actually going against what it says what I'm saying I really want out of life. When you start to recognize that, you start to be able to play with your beliefs. And I do this all the time. I figure out, what do I believe that could be getting in the way of me having what I really, really want? And when I realize what it is, I start to let it go. And I start to release these beliefs. And I do it partly through this process here, by tapping and saying, let it go, let it go, let it go. Peace. Go to a good memory. But then I start to go to, once I've released the emotional reaction, the resistance to letting go of that belief, then my imagination starts to go a little wild and crazy, and in a good way. My imagination starts to drift to better beliefs and how I could view my experiences and my proof in a different way to create new belief, and therefore see things in a different light, see things in a different way, have different attitudes, different patterns of thought, and therefore different beliefs. This is another way that you can use this tapping process extremely successfully to start shifting what's holding you back from what it is you say you want. Okay, I think that's all I want to say. Don't hesitate to contact me and ask me questions if you need further clarification. This video went on a little bit longer than I had actually planned, but it's quite an in-depth subject, and yeah, maybe I will cover more about belief and memories and how information is stored in the mind in future videos. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, play with your beliefs, tap away and create inside of you belief that gives you joy, and belief that helps you create what it is you say you want in your life and in the world. Go forth and create. Have a really good day. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.